Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Apologize, I apologize. Lo siento, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to the moms that had to be fathers. Happy Father's Day to the fathers that are fathers. Happy Father's Days that are acting fathers. We appreciate you. And also, don't forget, tomorrow is Juneteenth. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. We got a lot to celebrate. It is also about to be officially summer. I don't know about you, but here in New York City, it hasn't really felt like summer quite yet. I mean, it's gotten warm, but it's not consistently warm, which I'm okay with. I like a nice spring, personally. Anyways, guys, this is our weekly recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville and Belle Collective. All right? Weekly recap. All right? If you missed any of our past recaps of Belle Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville, be sure to check those out. Oh, first of all, can you guys hear me loud and clear? Loud and clear? All right? Let me take a sip. All right, I apologize for being late, but there's a reason. I literally just uploaded a new video that I had a lot of, research to do on and watching and to editing and all of that. So be sure to check out the video that I just dropped. I pinned it to the live chat here on YouTube, talking about the whole Candy and Sonia Richards-Ross situation. Don't forget, we will be recapping the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta tomorrow. Yes, for Juneteenth. I'm working on Juneteenth, but y'all not. Well, some of y'all. Look, some of y'all. All right, let's get into a countdown. Let me know where you're watching from. We have to talk about Belle Collective first, and then we're going to get into the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And you might be surprised by some of my takes on this latest episode. Again, happy Father's Day, and let's get into this recap. All right, boom. If my here we go.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly recap of Belle Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. We will put timestamps. If Mama Ellie, can we just put a timestamp when we start talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville for those of you that don't want to hear about Belle Collective? However, I've been critical of Belle Collective. I said, what the hell is this?
What I'm saying, like, you got to what the hell? Who told? Tell the
Okay, I was very critical. I was very critical of that. However, I don't know. I'm back engaged into what's going on with Belle Collective. I feel like, okay, wait a minute. Episode 2 wasn't that great for me, but here we are. I'm still interested. A lot of things are happening, including the addition of this woman. Hold on, let me just bring this up for you guys. Selena. And a lot of you kept on saying, I want to see more Selena. I want to see more Selena. And some of you already are familiar with JJ and Selena from another reality show. I never watched it. There's so much reality TV. I never watched the reality show that she and her family were on before. But a lot of you kept on saying you want to see more Selena on the show. Well, you got a lot of Selena this week on Belle Collective. You got a lot of her this week. And I'm not sure how I feel. Look, we could say a lot about So Gucci, especially with that name. But I've never sort of been like turned off to So Gucci. Maybe after this week, maybe a little bit. But I'm sort of like, So Gucci's is Gucci with me right now. So Gucci's Gucci for me right now. I'm okay with So Gucci. I don't know about after this week because I'm just sort of like, wait a minute. Why do you have beef with this woman? Especially if you've been trying to co-parent. And then to find out that Selena and JJ took 30 years to divorce. I told you guys there are a lot of people that are still married that aren't together. So I'm not completely maybe I'm a little desensitized to it because I do know quite a few relationships like this where people are still married, but they are not together. And maybe because of the whole, it's going to be a long situation. It costs a lot to get divorced. But the way that they're making it seems like JJ didn't want to divorce Selena, that he's still in love with Selena. Do you believe that? I'm just looking at, damn, how did JJ get these two women? Sorry, JJ. That's the only thing that I'm getting from this situation. But I do see your comments. A lot of you do like Selena. I don't know how I feel about it, but I do know that Latrice is terrible. And I feel like, Latrice, I know that you and So Gucci have your issue over business. But to get this deep and dark, here we go. Here we go. To get this to this point, it's sort of like, really? This is where you want to go? You want to go to the baby mama who she's had years and years of issues with? Like, I don't feel like whatever issues Latrice and So Gucci had were that deep for her to go this route, which is making me look at Latrice in a whole other way. But maybe there's something there that has been brought to the show that happened between Latrice and So Gucci. Based on what we know, their issue was about So Gucci dropping the ball on getting her a building. And we do see the building that another real estate agent got for Latrice. But Latrice's biggest issue right now is her husband, Cliff. I'm not even calling him Zaddy no more. Cliff. So she's showing her friend the property. So we already had that scene with Latrice and Selena talking about the party, what went down with the party. And that's when we find out more about the history between Selena and JJ. All right. I'm going to skip the Glenn and Leticia scene for now. But I do want to talk about Latrice doing the walkthrough with Cliff. Because I'm not interested in their storyline just because there's something going on there that Latrice, I hope that you're safe. That's all I'm going to say. I hope that you're safe because based on what we're seeing or seen over these last couple of episodes, I'm just like, what's happening here? This is more than him just being controlling. All the little comments that he makes about her, he makes us believe like she's not the businesswoman that she has portrayed to us on the show. He makes it seem like he's the man behind all of her success. And now they're having a battle over her vision for this building. Anyone else think of Kenya Moore? Because we just were watching Kenya Moore go through her building and her vision. And that felt a lot more fun. Latrice going through her building, I felt like, I don't know, it just felt awkward that all of a sudden, Cliff comes in and we're all like this. Oh, you're here. And Cliff's like, yeah, I heard you talking about me. I think, you know what I got? I got Color Purple vibes. Remember when Mr. overheard them speaking? That's the vibe I'm getting. And I'm uncomfortable with Latrice and the whole Cliff situation. All right? Latrice also tells her friend Mandy in this particular scene her issues with Josh. You know, we've seen Josh the first few episodes of this season, and they were friends first, but Josh also works for Latrice. And Latrice is upset with Josh because he's talking about the situation that's happening in her home. And he spoke about this with Aikisha. And apparently Aikisha and Latrice, they were taking shots at each other in their confessionals. I'm like, I thought you guys were friendly. Weren't you guys just playing with your kids? Your Latrice's step grandkids and your babies? Like, what happened? But this always tells you there's more going on outside the show that we don't know, because it's like, You can't, Latrice, you can't be possibly just mad at Aikisha because Josh told her something and she's telling you what he told her. Like, why would you be mad at her for that and call her an old maid? I mean, at least that old maid doesn't have a controlling husband. At least she seems to have her own autonomy in her relationship. Just saying. At least they seem like partners and not daddy and child. Happy Father's Day. wait. Just for, look. Is step grandkids not a thing? Or did I just make it a thing? Danielle says, not step grandkid. Isn't that what they are to her? They're not, those aren't her blood children's children. Look, is that not a thing? But we're going to make it a thing. We're going to make it a thing. All right, let me put on my stuff. Just saying. Okay, now rewinding back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. So Glenn and Leticia go to visit his grandmother. His grandmother is on her deathbed. First off, just to lighten the mood a little bit. Anyone else triggered by the wood paneling? I said, oh, I grew up with wood paneling. I'm just saying. I was just like, the wood paneling. I was a little triggered. Okay. Anyways. I'm not going to say anything much about the scene. I know we all have a feeling about what Glenn is doing here in this particular moment with Leticia. Is he trying to garner sympathy from her because his grandmother... Look, his grandmother is really sick. His grandmother is really on death's door. They have been together for 25 years. She has grown up with this woman. I'm not going to say any more about this scene. Did she pass? Do we know? If she didn't pass... Look. Did she have a miracle? I'm just asking. Let's move on. Let's move on because I feel it's going in a direction. I feel like it's going in a direction that we cannot come back from. So Leticia and Marie. Meet up and they recall this moment. Look, they recall this moment.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got what the hell? Who told?
I told you I was going to bring this back. Okay. Tina says, Kempire, my first house I purchased had wood paneling. See, wood paneling was a thing. I grew up with wood paneling. I was just triggered. By seeing it. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, we're going to leave that scene alone. But do we know? If... Okay. I'm gonna leave the scene alone. Back to Leticia and Marie. So Leticia and Marie meet up. They talk about what's going on with Glenn in that moment, and Marie talks about how that sort of reminded her of her issues with Cedric. Okay, her ex-husband. All right. When did they get divorced? I can't remember. I felt like they were married, or maybe they were just revisiting each other and they were already divorced. I don't remember. I don't even care. All right, so Marie gets emotional talking about that, and she recalled a story about her ex-husband, and she's saying that she's ready to start dating, and Leticia's like, oh, I'll help you. Here's the thing, just a word of advice. Am I really going to ask my friend who seems to have poor decision-making when it comes to her own relationships for dating advice? Only for her to set you up with playa. This is why I'm glad I rewatched some of these scenes. Because as I was rewatching it today, I said, well, you know what? Marie's a little uptight. She can be a little uptight because she's a businesswoman. She's doing a lot. She's having her dates signed NDAs. I said, wait a minute. Is that what people are doing now? Signing NDAs? On their first date? And look, she's saying she has a lot to lose. Did she start doing this before she was on television? We already know Candy says that she has, if they have a threesome, her and Todd, that they have them sign NDAs. I understand that. But for a first date, Is that something? Is that a thing? Should I get an NDA? And that's an awkward conversation. How do you tell someone on a first date, can you sign this NDA? Is that a bit too much? I think that's a bit too much. I think if you become serious, then you have them sign an NDA. Right? Maybe? How does that work? Sassy says, it's a thing. Y'all are having people sign NDAs out here? Oh, Beyonce says, yeah, I looked it up. Glenn's grandmother died. All right. May she rest in peace. I felt for her. I was like, not y'all trying to film this poor woman on her deathbed. Tracy says, Kempire, you need to have any of your dates sign NDAs. Didn't Raven Simone say that she would have the NDA by her bedside before she would hook up with me? Like, but Raven Simone has been famous a very long time. She's no Marie Monroe. So Leticia's gonna hook her up with a date. And this is when we find out about the NDA. I'm like, wow. Danielle says the whole scene or story was pre-produced. Play It is probably Marie's old school buddy with them golds in his mouth. We're gonna talk about that in a second. I just don't understand why Marie, and I get it, Marie and Leticia are really good friends. Okay, I just don't understand why I personally would go to Leticia. Is Leticia running a matchmaking service in Leticia Pearson Enterprise? Is that a part of the enterprise? Or maybe that's when we add the S. When we add the S. Cherie says, I need people to sign NDAs now. I'm about to be fancy. Is that fancy or is that just legality? I'm wondering. I'm going to really think about this. And I want to know, replay crew, those of you in the chat, drop a yes or no. Should we start having our dates sign NDAs? I just don't know how you bring that up. I don't know how you bring that up. My God. On a first date, I don't know if you should bring that up on a first date because not everybody deserves to know your full story anyway on a first date. However, I don't think you need to have someone sign an NDA on a first date. I think if you go past a certain amount of time, then you have them sign an NDA. This is an interesting conversation. Thank you, Marie Monroe. Thank you for this. Thank you, because now I'm thinking like, wow, this is interesting chain of events. But we have to keep in mind, besides Marie being on this show, she does run a multi-million-dollar business. So she fears that she has a lot to lose dating. I mean, if you want to date someone like Playa, yes, he better sign an NDA. Okay, because Playa don't look like he got a lot to lose. We don't know. I don't want to judge him by his appearance and those gold teeths. Okay. Oh my God, what was that movie where? Oh no, it was Living Single. Remember when Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, she said she always attracts the guys with the gold teeth. I was like, damn. Do people still wear gold teeth? I guess so. Ew. Dental health is important. If you listen to the podcast, speaking of the podcast, a new episode of our podcast, yes, a new episode of our podcast, Kempire Radio, dropped. So be sure to check it out. It dropped on Friday night. So be sure to check it out. I'm talking about London. I'm talking about some things that we haven't talked about anywhere else. Kempire Radio on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to rate us on your podcast platform. 5 stars. Nothing below 5 stars. Okay. Anyways, so Leticia's going to hook her friend up with a man. We'll get back to that man in a second. All right. Leticia and Glenn meet up again. And this is where, again, I'm just concerned because the way that this is playing out, I'm glad that they showed the police outside the restaurant that they were eating, because I was just like, is that a police that y'all requested? Because it just was interesting. Why does Glenn, I want to start calling him Boosie. Because why does he have, first of all, he was recording a song the other day. Now he's got this gold chaineth around his neck. I'm like, are you a rapper? What is happening here? Boosie. Y'all hear Boosie going to jail? Again? I don't even know what Boosie does. He's a rapper, right? I ain't never heard that music. Anyways, but he does look like Boosie. Anyway, so they meet up and they're talking about, where they stand. And he's basically thinking because of the grandma situation that they're back together. And she's like, look, here's the thing with Leticia. Leticia talks a good game, but her actions say other things. Because she already said, you know what? If Glenn does this again, I'm done with him. I'm moving on. She's still in this mess. She slept with him at the reunion. Well, I don't know about at the reunion, but you know what I'm saying. She's brought that up. And she basically says that, I decide, what works for me. It's great that you're working on yourself and you're doing. When did he started working on himself? Did I miss that? Did we get blind? I was like, wait, he started working on himself? He's going to therapy? Am I forgetting something? I don't feel like as if he's made any changes. Tiffany says, Kempire, you haven't heard Wipe Me Down? No? Maybe if I heard it, maybe. I ain't never heard that music. I'm sorry. Danielle says that Glenn has a Jekyll and Hyde personality, which is the scary part. She needs to be careful. I mean, literally, first of all, as she gets up because he's getting heated, because he's saying that he wants her to remain in the house with him. He said he grew up in a household without a father, and he doesn't want his son to grow up that way. He said, you can stay in another room. You can stay in another room. So basically he's saying it's my way or the highway. He said, you have a lot of real ish to lose, which also made me go, wait a minute. What are you saying? Is that a threat? Boosie? Is that a threat? That's what it felt like. She gets up and she walks away. He goes to confront her while she's in her car. He also says that she isn't taking his son. I feel like he's drawn a line in the sand, which a lot of people would take as a threat. Boosie. CC Mom says, Wipe Me Down is a black classic. Really? I need to go listen to the song. Maybe I do know and I just don't know the name. But then again, I don't know. And honestly, I don't want to give him streams because he said a lot of homophobic things. So then there's that. But you also have to remember, a lot of the American, black classics, I'm Jamaican. So a lot of in our Jamaican community, growing up Jamaican, you're not listening to a lot of that stuff. Just saying. It's a little bit of a difference when you grow up with a Jamaican family, or if you're West Indians. Some of those classics aren't played in our house. Just saying. All right. But Jillian says that he's been threatening. It was even more in this particular moment that I was just like, what are we talking about here? What are we watching? And I had the same feeling when Marie went on this date with Playa. Kia says, so Kempire, you've never heard of, are we really going through the Boosie discography right now? So Kempire, you never heard of Independent, Wipe Me Down, or Zoom? No! Thank you, Danielle. Danielle on Facebook says, Kempire, you are not missing anything regarding Boosie. Thank you. And I'm not going to get into anything regarding Boosie either. We already got our new Boosie on Belle Collective. Guys, you're just joining us. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. We're talking about Belle Collective. We're going to get into Love and Marriage Huntsville in just a second. All right? Exactly. Shireen says, the men are terrible on the show. We shall pray for the Belle's safety. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Exactly. Teresa says, I thought it was a threat. Kamika says that Glendale looks like the type to put the pause when he can't have his way. That's what I was feeling like. I mean, we don't know their relationship, but what it's feeling like, you don't even have to be physical in order to be emotionally abusive. So just the threat alone of like, no, it's my way or no way. Okay, Felicia says, you're not the only one, Kempire. I've never heard of it either. Thank you. Because I'm like, really? Anyways, we've digressed, people. Focus. We were talking about Belle Collective. I know anything's better, but come on, focus. Oh, okay. Let me just say thank you. We had a few super chats. Hold on. Oh, see, Miami Gardens agree. Like, my mother was listening to Luther Vandross when I was growing up, or something Jamaican, not Bootsy. Miami Gardens says, Kempire, I grew up in Jamaica, in a Jamaican household, and trust, the folks ain't playing those songs. I feel you. Just saying. WR, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate you always supporting the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Danielle says, I'm definitely about to have men start to sign NDAs on the first date. Facebook has too many groups about who's dating who. Y'all old folks, I feel like Facebook is like for old folks now in regards to these groups. Really? Oh, damn. Look, you right, Danielle. I might have to take a note. Let me go call my attorney. Write up an NDA. Danielle also says, thank you for another super chat, Danielle. Danielle says, everybody knows because I'm old, white me. Oh, no, because I'm oil, white me. No, we don't. Sorry, we don't. Mario, thank you so much for the super chat. Mario says, Kempire, Wipe Me Down is the Kappa Stroll song. Really? So I cannot be a Kappa. I know y'all been trying to make me turn into a Kappa. Nope. Look, nope. All right. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, guys. And, sidebar. Don't forget, tomorrow is Juneteenth. First of all, happy Father's Day to anyone that's celebrating. It's Father's Day here in the States. I don't know if it's Father's Day anywhere else, but it is Father's Day here in the States. And tomorrow is Juneteenth. So I do want to show you guys something, a little bit of a thing that I worked on for you. All right. Hold on. Let me bring it up. And guys, keep liking the video if you haven't already. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Okay. Let me bring this up. We have Juneteenth merch for you. Come on now. Juneteenth merch. Yes. For a limited time, our Juneteenth merch is available at houseofkempire.com. Go get you some. I'm really proud of this merch. Go. Designed by Kempire. All right. Designed by Kempire. Comes in a variety of different colors. There are a couple of things, and I'm going to be adding stuff today to the merch store. So head on over to houseofkempire.com or TheKempire.com and click the shop button. Juneteenth merch is available right now. So get you something. All right. Get you something. All right. Don't you like it? Don't you like these colors? Come on now. Here Danielle go. You will be a Kappa. Now if I have to listen to Wipe Me Down. Happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day, guys. Back to this. Rounding up this situation. So Marie goes on this blind date. You know, when I first watched it, I was like, look, this sounds about like Tisha. Setting her up with this blind date. She has the blind date sign an NDA too. But homeboy comes, and look, I said to myself, well, here's the thing. A professional, because she says she wants a conservative, professional guy. Okay. So he walks in, and yes, he's dressed casual, but they're at the bowling alley. Bowling is actually a lot of fun. I haven't bowled in a long time, but I remember going on a date with bowling several years ago. And I was like, this was fun. This is fun. I haven't been back though. Just saying. So they go bowling, and apparently he's a very good bowler. Okay. Oh, damn. See, look, just be happy like me. It says, Kempire, you could go out on a first date and the guy can come back with all kinds of lies that could damage your reputation. But here's the thing. People can do that regardless. Even people that have never met you. You know what I mean? So for me, it's sort of like, you just have to continue to be yourself. You can't fight every accusation about, what someone's going to say about you. Because, look, yes, this guy that's going on a date with Marie, yeah, he probably won't say anything. But you know what he could do to get around that NDA? Tell somebody else some stuff about her and have them start spreading stuff. You just have to live your truth because people are going to create things. I see people create all kinds of stuff on social media all the time. And I'm just like, really? Really? But she seems to have a good time. After watching this for a second time, I was like, well, maybe Marie Monroe needed this. Look, maybe she needed a light, fun get together with someone. She seemed to have a good time. She seemed like she was having a good time. Maybe she enjoyed the bowling more than his company, but they seemed to have a good time. I just couldn't get over the gold teeth. Okay, I didn't care about the casual dress because look, you're going to a bowling alley. Not all professionals are wearing suit and ties all the time. Okay? However, the gold teeth, and not just one gold tooth, all of these suckers were covered. All of these suckers were covered. Leanne on my TikTok says the NDA was for the show. Well, you know what? I appreciated her bringing it up because now all of us are having a conversation. Should we be having people sign NDAs when we go on dates? I don't know. I don't know about the first date. Well, definitely maybe after a certain amount of dates. How many dates? 3 days, 4 dates, 5 dates, 6 dates? If y'all slept together, I'm going to put an NDA by the bedside like Raven Simone. How do you say Raven Simone now? Because I know she said that everyone says it incorrectly. I don't care. Look. Y'all get me for mispronouncing words all the time. I try. Look, I was just trying there. All right. Brooklyn starts gold teeth in the year of our Lord 2023. Yikes. Yeah. But she seemed like she had a good time. Good for her. So Latrice is having a wig line party. She can't have it in her space because as you saw, it's not done yet. So she's having it at a friend's salon. And she's named a few of the wigs after the ladies. Sidebar. Okay, shady. I was like, okay, Latrice, I'm seeing a side of you that is like, oh, she's entertaining. She's got her shade game up. That's where she calls Akeisha an old maid. She had all kinds of things. Why did they use that picture of Tambra? Y'all saw that picture that they used of Tambra that was almost pixelated? I was like, ooh, that's a terrible picture of Tambra. I was like, y'all shady producers. But I guess they were trying to find a picture that would, I don't know. But I will give Latrice this. The wigs look good. Right? Anyone else? I feel like the wigs look good. Good for her. Teresa says, my friend does NDAs. I thought it was creepy on the first at first because he would probably think she was gonna get buck wild on the first date, but it was a meet and greet. Whoo, y'all really have me thinking. Okay. Anyway, so back to Latrice's wig event. First of all, the wigs look good. The names that she gave the wigs that coincide with the bells, it was funny. It was shady. It was humorous. I was like, whoa, okay, Latrice. I see you. I was thrown back that she was shading Akeisha because I was like, what happened between you and Akeisha? Y'all were just hanging out. But then Akeisha shades her too because Akeisha shows up to the space and she's like, when am I going to see your 4,000 square foot space? Why are we not there? At one point, she called Latrice's Latrice called the wig that she was inspired by Marie Monroe. She called it Monroe, something like that. All right. But that's also when we find out about Latrice being upset about the whole situation with Josh speaking to Akeisha about the issues that they were having along with Cliff. All right. Akeisha says something that made me go, because she alludes that maybe something's going on with Latrice and Selena. Anyone else go like, wait a minute. So she alludes that something might be going on between Latrice and Selena. I don't understand where that came from. Maybe Akeisha knows a little bit more than we do, but she's saying because Latrice has now had this new friendship with Selena, who is JJ. So Gucci's married to him, right? But it apparently took 30 years for JJ to divorce Selena. Yeah, okay, so I wasn't the only one confused. I was like, what? Where did that come from? Not in our Pride Month. Look, not in our Pride Month. Felicia says she's lying, making stuff up. Aikisha, you know, we usually enjoy you on the show, but that was sort of like, where'd that come from? IB says, I didn't like that bi accusation. And if they're married. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Selena's in another situation, but Latrice is married. Okay. So that came out of left field. I guess we will probably, during the Belle Collective reunion, get a better idea where that came from, but here we are. So this is where Selena and Soguchi face off, because apparently they've had issues over the years and they've never gotten along, but Selena says that Soguchi always just sort of like ignores her if they're in the same space together. And she confronts her. Selena confronts her at the event. She's like, you know, I'm here too. You're not going to say hello? And look, we don't know the deep history between Selena and Soguchi, but I do feel like in that moment when she was saying hello to Tambra, again, another episode where we got very little of Tambra and no one cared. Just saying. We don't know the deep history between them. We have an idea, but we don't know everything. But Selena confronts her in that moment, and she's just like, you know, I'm standing here. You're not going to say hello? And she's like, you did it before at the baby shower. And she's like, oh, you know, you were busy. And she was like, you couldn't help? And she's like, apparently she says that Soguchi never helps when they have family events and things like that. And then Soguchi doesn't want to engage with her. She calls Selena an extra. And you know what that is. They're breaking the fourth wall. She's basically saying that you're not on this show. You're not a Belle. Okay? She's saying basically you're not a Belle. You're not in the promo. I am officially a Belle. Okay? She calls her an extra. And then apparently it gets physical. I don't feel like it needed to go to that route, right? Y'all feel, first of all, because these women have real family connections. You know, she's a stepmom to Selena's children. She's married to Selena's ex. And I know physical things happen, but it just felt like, first of all, you're at someone else's event. You're in someone else's space. This is not like your space or this, you know what I mean? So that's how the episode ends. Again, that's not what has kept me engaged in regards to this show. I mean, the telenovela, I was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to. What the hell? Hey, who told? Tell the
I mean, it jumped the shark in episode 2, but I'm still engaged. I'm not completely over it. If I had to rate this episode, I probably would rate this episode a 7. I would probably rate this episode a 7. In my TikTok, Lynn says, Selena low-key started it. She was being messy from the jump. She was being messy from the first scene that we got. But again, we don't know the history between these two. We're getting a glimpse of the history based on what they're saying. But for it to go to the place of physical fighting, I'm just like, is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? Grown women? Just saying. Okay. Tracy says Selena's getting a Belle next season. I feel like it because a lot of you keep saying that you want to see Selena full-time on the show. I don't know. I mean, who says that they're going to get a season 4? I mean, we'll see. We're going to keep talking about the season. But let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is our weekly recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville and Belle Collective. We incorporate both just time management, okay? Time management. Jola says, I can see Selena being added to the show quite honestly. Yeah. Hold on. TA says, yes, Selena will be a Belle. I mean, if they get a season 4. If they get a season 4, I can see it happening, especially because it's relevant to Soguchi's storyline. Mrs. Edith says, so Gucci is probably intimidated by Selena, and she seems like she was dismissive of her own children to have a relationship with JJ. I mean, I can see her being intimidated because based off the history, we hear that JJ took a long time before he finally divorced Selena. I want to know the timeline. I want to know, when did So Gucci and JJ get together? When did he end things with Selena? When did he finally divorce Selena? Was there ever an overlap? I'm not insinuating. Well, maybe I am insinuating, but I don't know. I want to know the history. I want to know the timeline, because that's the part that I don't think we have. When exactly was So Gucci and JJ dating and married? Is that the reason why there might be an issue? Because maybe there was some sort of overlap? Probably. If it took him a long time to divorce, maybe they were separated. But I want to know the history. All right. Guys, we have almost 800 people in the building in our YouTube live chat alone. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Let me see. Yes, Alyssa wants to remind us that next Saturday is when Love and Marriage Detroit begins. Love and Marriage Detroit. As you know, we'll be adding it to our recaps. We'll be adding it because, look, there's no way. Beyonce, hold on. Beyonce says, we don't know, God darn it. If you watch Belle Collective, you get it. All right. Okay. Shireen says, so Gucci says all this on Carlos's YouTube. Can you watch it and let us know what she said? Because I'm not watching it. Ellie Price says, watch it. Nope, I'm not watching it. I don't have the time. That's the thing. I rely on the reunion and I rely on the show giving us the timeline. I'm not going to sit and go watch an interview over there. Sorry. It just takes, I'm not that invested. If it was another thing, maybe I'll be more invested. I'm not that invested in Belle Collective to know the deep story. I'm just asking you guys. If you knew, you'll let me know. All right. Kara says, walk in and speak to everyone around me but me on purpose. Yeah, Gucci was wrong for that. Especially because there is a connection. It doesn't take a lot to just say, hi, how you doing? And keep it moving. At least then she can't say anything. You know what I mean? But then she referred to her as an extra. And then Selena says, I was on TV before you. And a lot of you told me about that. Oh, thank you, Miss Tina, because that's all you guys had to say. Watch the interview. No! Was there an overlap or not? Tina says, on the interview, she said it was not an overlap. But that's So Gucci's side. What does Selena say? What does Selena say? Hold on. Coco Puff says, I think Aikisha made the comment about Latrice and Selena because Latrice hangs with Mandy and Josh, and they're both part of the LGBTQ plus community. So I think they have something going on. Well, no. That doesn't mean just because you hang out with people from the LGBT community, people are allies. This is why straight men don't want to hang out with gay men, because they don't want to be people to assume. No. Not in our Pride Month. Look, not in our Pride Month. But maybe you might be right. Maybe you might be right. Who knows? Felicia says exactly, they were separated. Okay. But some people, I don't believe this necessarily. They believe if you're separated, it doesn't mean you're still married, so you shouldn't be hooking up with anybody until you are actually divorced. But you already know divorces are not that simple. Kenya's still divorcing that man for like the last 5 years. Just saying. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay. Honestly, I have to say I was probably more interested in Belle Collective than Love and Marriage Huntsville. I feel like I was more into this episode of Belle Collective than Love and Marriage Huntsville. Anyone else? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville. It wasn't a bad episode. If I had to rate this particular episode, I'm going to probably rate a 7.5, maybe even an 8, just because we get Melody breaking down her walls and her being open. You know what I mean? For me, that was the best part of the episode. But let's start at the beginning. Guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to like the video. Be sure to share the video. Be sure to subscribe. It is a subscribers only live chat. Shout out to all of you that have become members of the channel. To become a member, head on over to TheKempire.com/join or click the join button if you're watching from your computer. Shout out to everyone watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and behind the scenes here on TikTok. We appreciate you guys being here. All right. Erica says, I believe Akeisha is just old fashioned and this isn't her normal. Could be, but look, comments like that, people got to start teaching you because it's an ignorant comment. Beyonce says, did you see on social media that Melody did get her name back legally? I did not see that because, I don't follow those folks. But thank you for letting us know because, that was part of last week's episode where Melody was talking about she couldn't get her name changed because she's in the middle of this whole custody situation. But that's good news to know that despite all the stuff that's going on with custody, she was still able to get back to her maiden name. All right. Felicia says that Belle was better. Why is Mel hanging out with Nell? Because she needed someone to film with. I like Mel. It was just an observation. Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I did notice that as well. But after watching it a second time, it made a little bit more sense to me why she's filming with Nell. We'll get to that. So we start off this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville at the comeback. No, well, I guess it's not really a comeback group meeting, but they're talking about this whole Black Expo event and who's going to be involved. Maurice is like, if all of us are not involved, I don't want to be involved. And he said, you're basically recycling the comeback group idea. At least give us some sort of credit if you're going to do that. So the group kind of goes back and forth. At one point, Marsau says, comeback group is dysfunctional. Kimmy was like, well, you were part of the dysfunction. You were probably the main part of the dysfunction. They also talk about the date of this event happening. Mel's like, I can't do that date because I believe I'll be opening up for Eric Bellinger, the singer. She has a singing career too. So Maurice gives the idea, well, maybe we can have Melody do something virtually and blah, 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 blah. And Tisha's like, no, I don't want to do that. And Melody calls her out. It's like, it seems like you don't want to work with me on this way. It's like your way or no way. Like I said, Maurice wants everyone involved. If everyone's not involved, he doesn't want to do it. So, of course, they at the end of the day, they really, really want Melody to be there because she has the fan base. She has the most fan base amongst the entire cast. So if she comes, it's going to bring a lot of people. And so Marsau and Melody get into it because she's like, I want to take baby steps. He was like, well, we are taking baby steps. And it's like, no, you want me to be at this event. I don't know if I'm ready to do that. Also, the other element that we're not talking about and she brings up is she doesn't really know she's ready to work with Martell. She's literally in the middle of a custody situation with him. So I understand why she's a little hesitant to work with the comeback group as a whole. She wants to dissolve the group. And I think they should at this point, especially because there's no way that Melody could work with Martell. Did this Black event happen already? It should have happened, right? Based off the date. Did anyone go? Did it ever happen? That's the question. So you may have saw we were just talking about Melody and Nell hanging out. They went for this pole dancing class. And I could care less about the pole dancing. It, for me, was more about the conversation because Melody posted a picture around Valentine's Day of her away and some man had well, you know what we said last week. It could be a man, it could be a woman. We don't know. No judgment. It's Pride Month. Don't be homophobic. But no, she says it's a man with his arm around her. Here's the thing, though. Melody, if you're going to post something up like that, people are going to ask questions. She made it seem like now you want to go public with your man, but then you don't want people asking you. And look, she says she's okay with people asking, but she's not going to necessarily respond. So I thought she was going to shut down Nell, but she doesn't. She says, Nell is a part of her inner circle. She's known Nell a very long time. She trusts Nell. Nell has been loyal to her. And she finally opens up about this new man. Anyone else? Weren't you guys taken aback? I was like, whoa, she's going to actually give us more details about this man? Nell, you're not going to get a name, though. You're not going to. And look, I could probably relate to Melody in this regard. And I've said this before here on the channel. I said, y'all keep asking, oh, you dating somebody? You doing this? Blah, 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 blah. I said, I'm not dating anyone right now, but when I actually am, you will never know it. And then when I actually do get married, y'all probably will find out afterwards. And who knows? We'll probably be married like 5 years by that point. So I can relate to what Melody's saying. She probably had this man sign an NDA too. So Melody does open up about this guy and how she manifested this guy. She said she used to post on her social media about wanting a protector, a professor, a what does she else say? Oh, provider. And she realized that she didn't have that with Martell. If anything, she said she was sleeping with the enemy. And then when you talk about this, you're like, yeah. When you think about what Martell has done to Melody, you're like, yeah, you were sleeping with the enemy. But she says that she talks about how she feels good about where she's at with this new relationship. Oh, thank you so much. Hold on. The black event did happen. Thank you, Mental Fit Chick, for the super chat. Hold on. Mental Fit Chick says, yes, the black event did happen. I went to it. How was it? How was it? And was Melody there? Was anyone from the show there besides Marsau and Tisha? Thank you for the super chat. Stanielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Stanielle says Boosie was popular in 2002 to 2005. 3 years. Look, 3 years. Thank you, Stanielle. Yeah. So back to this. So she opens up to Nell about this new guy, and she seems happy. She seems genuinely happy. And honestly, I hope this works out for her because we know what she's been through with Martell. And if this guy makes her happy, she says that she was really surprised that this even happened so quickly after she, talked about this. You're right. Make it make sense, Queen. The last time that she went on a date, Martell showed up. So then there's that. So that's also another reason why Melody does not want to talk about this new guy. But I'm sure Martell knows who this new guy is by this point. I'm sure you guys probably know who the guy is too. Do you? Who is it? Lila, who is it? Do I want to know? Do I care? Do I care? Then Melody talks about the whole black event that's happening, and she basically doesn't want any parts of it. She basically refers to herself as the Beyonce of Destiny's Child, and she's just like, I don't think that's why Beyonce left Destiny's Child, Melody. And also, she's still friendly with Destiny's Child. I don't feel like she's friendly with the comeback group. Moving on. Okay, Marsau and Tisha's look. Mama Allie, shut up. I'm kidding. She said blink twice if you're already married. I'm not. Look, I'm not. I need some counseling before I get married. Just saying. All right. So Marsau and Tisha are looking at this rental because they're renovating their house before they move into Scott Manor. We'll be waiting years before Scott Manor is built, but they're renovating the house, and they get into this conversation because Marsau is like, I'll get more done if I stay over there with MJ, their son. And Tisha's like, no, that doesn't work for me. We are a family, and we're going to live under the same roof. This conversation to me is so tired. I don't know about you. I was just like, I don't care about Marsau and Tisha in this conversation. I don't think it's a big deal if he stays over at that house and he's fixing up the house. I'm sure the house is not far from this rental. But Tisha's like, no, we are a family. You're staying under the roof. You're not going to be over there with a bachelor pad. A bachelor pad with his 16-year-old son? The one that called him out the other day? I don't think he's going to be bringing women over there. And if that's your concern, girl, I'm just saying. Oh, Mel says something fishy about this move. Brooklyn Star says, baby, the Scott's finances are looking funny to me. Really? Look, maybe I'm naive. I'm just like, well, they want to fix up their house. They want to renovate their house. Some people might say just first organize it better. You know, you guys look at their stuff all the time when they film in their house. You're like, what in the hoarder paradise is going on? So I was like, well, sometimes when you just clean up and organize, that will make your place feel like a whole new renovation. Have we seen any progress with Scott Manor at all in regards to the actual lump of dirt? Royal says that they're trying to keep they're trying to jump ahead of the narrative. Exactly. Hold on. I'm trying to keep up with some of your comments. TA says he's either cheating or he's not. No one cares anymore. Okay, I thought that was just me because that whole conversation with Tisha and Marsau, I was like, are we alluding that he might be cheating again? Or you don't trust him? I don't care. I don't care at this point. You like it, we love it, Tisha. But she said that she's put her foot down. We're not going to live separately. We're not going to live separately. Okay. So he says, well, then I'm going to have to hire a contractor and we're both going to have to pay for it. She's like, all right. All right. So then we had that scene with Marsau and Stormy's husband at this space. And look, I have to say, we keep saying that we want to see more of the business side of this show. And we do get this element of they're building out this space. They're about to put this sort of like luxury barbershop there from someone else. They're renting it. This person will be renting it out from them. They're also working on a possible deal with Slutty Vegan, which I think is really great. That's going to be great for Huntsville. So I like seeing that element of the business side of things. And I know, Marsau respects Stormy and her husband in the business that they've been able to create and the estate. We'll get to the estate in a second. So that's when Stormy's husband, what's that husband's name? Stacey? Right? So that's when he brings up the issue with Stormy's cousin who used to work for her. And then he was fired on the show. And I said to you, that was a weird firing. Like you were talking to him about issues and then you fired him at the same time. I was just like, so we don't get a trial period and that's your cousin? Well, we will revisit. So he talks about that as an issue. And that's when Marsau says, I had to fire Maurice at one point. And this was like when Maurice was like 20 something years old, like 23, he had just gotten married. So Maurice was like trying to hustle and, make money, but he apparently wasn't doing the job he needed to do. And that's why Marsau had to fire him. Okay. So then we have this scene with Tisha and Melody. And I said this on Twitter last night. I know that Tisha and Melody do not like each other and they probably will never like each other. However, very much like on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, where Andy was saying that it was nice to see Teresa and Melissa be honest about how they feel about each other, but still coexist. That's exactly what I got from Tisha and Melody in this situation. And they seem to actually have a good time. They filmed with each other. They weren't just coexisting. They were filming with each other. I liked this sit down with them. And of course, they're talking about what's going on with their kids. And Melody says, I'm not going to go into all the nitty gritty details of a custody situation with Tisha. It's just too complicated and some people just don't understand. Okay. So then they talk about this black event and Tisha just wants to get a definitive idea if Melody's going to participate. And Melody explains, she's like, I'm not comfortable working with this group because of past history that wasn't that long ago with everybody in the group. And then, of course, the element of working with Martell. So she was very honest with her. And Tisha was like, well, you know, I get that. I understand that. Let me say that. Okay. So they talk about that. And I feel like in that moment that maybe we can move forward and not have issues. They do flash back to some comments from Tisha that you're like, how do we get back from that? But they have. I mean, at one point last week, they showed a throwback of Melody calling security on Tisha and getting her kicked out of her event. So if we're able to move from that, we could probably move from what you call it? Move from calling someone the devil or demonic, or you know what I mean? Like, we probably can move from that. And clearly they have, because they're having this sit down, and here we are. Exactly. CF says, how do you go from dark soul to please work for me or work with me? Because she wants it to be a successful event. Akita says, love Marriage Huntsville blasted me with so much drama that I'm worn out. You catching me up. You're welcome. You're welcome. Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Danielle says, they move as much as Toya and Eugene on Married to Medicine. Do they? Maybe I have not paid attention enough to these couples. Do they move as much as them? Because they moved a lot, Toya and Eugene on Married to Medicine. I don't think they move as much as them. Do they? Or maybe because, you know, Married to Medicine, they highlight it so much. That's why we know it. I don't know if they move as much as them. Because that's a lot. Gene says, the Melanators, only the Mel fans are still hung up on that dark soul comment. I mean, look, if someone told me that I had a dark soul, I probably would not be able to let that go. Look. Watch people in the comments and you got a dark soul, Kempire. Well, that's the thing. I know who I am. I don't care what other people say. But if a personal friend was to say that to me on television, I thought this too, J1. J1 says, because Carlos told the original 6 to film or work together. I literally had that thought as I'm watching the scene. I was like, Carlos probably has seen what's happened on these other shows and was like, you guys need to figure this out. If you want this show to continue to be successful, you have to be able to film together and work through your issues. And I have to say though, you know, sometimes when people tell you to do stuff like that, it still feels awkward. I don't feel like the sit down with Melody and Tisha felt awkward. And if they were acting, they were doing some of the best acting of their careers. Okay? Melody, that might be your next thing. I know, well, she is working on doing more acting. So I felt like it was, and I also feel like Melody sometimes, although, you know, she has that nasty, nice self to her, I don't feel like she was being nasty, nice to Tisha. I felt like she was being honest. And she was being honest. She's just like, I don't know if I can commit to doing this event. I do really have something going on. But I thought it was nice. I liked seeing it. All right. I liked seeing it. Stormy's family drama. Let's talk about Stormy's family drama, because honestly, that was probably the best part of the show. And when I say the best part, it's the part that kept me very engaged, because I was like, I did not expect this. I didn't see this coming. I did not see this. Did you see this coming? This family drama? I did not see this family drama coming with Stormy's family and her mom and aunt and her cousin. I did not see that coming. Bettie, really? Tracy says, if I'm a dark soul, I'm not working for free. Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious in chat. So I did not see this coming with Bettie. I mean, look, Bettie, we've had issues with Bettie, you know, with Melody and things like that. And a lot of you have equated her to a Mama Joyce. But I really felt for Bettie's sister, Aunt Tracy. I was already team Aunt Tracy, because I felt like, first of all, there's deep history between these women. Deep history. And we find out a lot. Well, I feel like we got a real update on why these two do not see it for each other. But in this particular moment, I was just like, really? First of all, I didn't think that this was a big issue in the family about letting Junior go from the job. Again, when she let him go, I was sort of like, wait, why are we firing? Why are we firing Junior? I mean, yes, he needs to work on his attitude. And I get where Betty, Stormy's mom, is saying, well, you're her cousin. You shouldn't be just sitting there acting like you're one of the other workers. You should be able to help your cousin. You, if anything, you should act like, you know, this is part of your future legacy too. Again, I was a little like thrown off though why they fired him in that moment though. It felt like a very pre-produced moment. But I don't feel like this beef between Betty and Aunt Lisa was fake. It felt real to me. Like there's some deep history between these two. Some deep history. So we have the situation. They have a sit down. First of all, okay, before we even get into the sit down, the whole scene, we get to see, we get a grand tour of Stormy's estate. And we filmed at the estate before. Okay, that's when we were first introduced to Stormy. We were like, ooh, they're using her estate. And then you see all of her property. I was like, all right, Stormy, good for her. I love this for us. Look, I love this for us. Beautiful. The house is beautiful, but the estate is even better. Okay, back to the drama. So Stormy is lighting off sage because she's like, we know we're going to have this conversation. And what sparked this conversation was because Betty told her sister that she wasn't happy with Junior and that he was fired from working with his cousin Stormy. And I understood where Betty was coming from. It's sort of like, okay, you're her cousin. You guys grew up together. You guys are like brother and sister. You shouldn't be just acting like you're one of the workers. You should be also rallying people together. Again, I just don't understand why she fired him in that moment. It felt like, unless something else was happening that we don't know about. So Betty is the one who brings this up to Aunt Lisa, and Aunt Lisa says she was blindsided. Blindsided by this whole situation. So they're sitting down having this conversation, and first of all, she kept on calling her nephew a prick. I was like, not on this Sunday. You notice that? First of all, Mama Betty, I'm gonna call her Mama Betty. Mama Betty is something else. Do we know her astrological sign? Do we know her astrological sign? Can someone go find out and come back and report back? I need to know her astrological sign. All right. But I have to say, after rewatching this scene, I'm still team Aunt Lisa. Aunt Lisa was so hurt when Mama Betty brought up that Stormy has done so much for Junior. She even bailed him out. She gave him $15,000 to bail him out of jail. And that's when Aunt Lisa was done. And like when I say done, she was literally done. She was taking off her mic pack. And I get it. She probably was like, no, you did not bring up, first of all, that my son went to jail, and you bring it up on national television. So I get why Aunt Lisa's like, I'm done. She's like, that was the final straw. And apparently they've had issues ever since their father was sick. And Mama Betty is the one who sort of like came in and took everything over. And so that has caused friction between the sisters. And apparently the sisters used to be tight, according to Stormy. Exactly, Gwen. As I'm watching this episode, I was thinking about the Scott sisters on, from Escape. Come on. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
I am the fifth member. How about that?
That is the same energy that I get from Mama Betty. That is the same energy that I get from Mama Betty. Okay? When Mama Betty brings up Junior going to jail, that's when Aunt Lisa eventually brings up that Stormy went to jail. Stormy admits in her confessional when she was 19. Did she tell us why she went to jail? I can't remember. She said she got into some trouble when she was 19. She spent like 3 days in jail. Oh, she's a Sagittarius. Thank you, Denise, on TikTok. Mama Betty's a Sagittarius. We need a full birth chart reading of her. So she went to jail. She spent 3 days in jail. 3 days in jail. And she said, look, did she say she had it expunged? I can't remember now. But when they did the whole little picture, at least she owned it. I thought that was funny. I thought that was a really funny moment. Look, we can't hold that against her. But I get why Aunt Lisa brought it up. You're going to try and shame me on the television? Come on, Tiffany. We cannot encourage this behavior. Tiffany says, low-key, I wanted Lisa to grab them sisters' locks. I feel like that's what was about to happen. She warned Stormy. She's like, if your mother comes over here, if she comes over here, Kia, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. She says, is it me or did it look like Stormy was nervous or scared to talk around her mama? Definitely. It's definitely like a Candy Mama Joyce situation. But she did speak up to her mom, though. That's one thing I have to say. She did speak up to her mom and saying that they're making it very difficult for her and her cousin Junior to have a relationship. And they grew up together. That's like her brother. And Aunt Lisa is like a second mom to her. Probably like the understanding mom because her mom seems like a lot. Tracy, thank you so much for the super chat. Tracy says Marsau fired him from the movie. Wait, Marsau fired him from the movie theater because if Maurice was 23, Scout was not around yet. The Scots have downgraded 3 times. Where is the upgrade? Damn. That's true. Like, what job did he fire him from? Mental Fit Chick, thank you for the super chat. She says, in real life, custody cases are tough. I'm not sitting in the same room playing Ring Around the Rosie. Been there before. And so I see her point. I mean, look, we've talked about the whole situation with Melody and Martell and the fact that she has to film and work with him right now. So I can understand where she's like, if I'm not filming, I don't want to have to work with this man or see this man. So I get it. IB says Stormy was so unhelpful. All that yelling and not holding her mama accountable. But mind you, these are the grown women here. They should be the ones spearheading people getting along. So this situation, Aunt Lisa goes outside. She unmics herself. She goes outside. She's upset. She's crying. She's emotional. I think she's embarrassed as well because her son now has been exposed for going to jail. And maybe some people didn't know. And now they know because of her sister. And maybe that was the cherry on top with all the drama. Because can you imagine some of the other things that Mama Betty has said to her sister and the family? You know that's not the first time she's talked out the side of her face. Let's be honest. And it won't be the last. But Aunt Lisa says, I'm done. I'm through with it. I'm not doing it anymore. But why did the editors, Carlos, y'all are not right. Why did the editors play that Jaws music as, first of all, you see Stormy and Aunt Lisa having a conversation overlooking the ranch. Aunt Lisa is coming out. They're playing like that Jaws music, like Jaws is about to come and attack. I was like, what is happening? Like, I wanted to take this moment seriously, but I could not take it seriously with that Jaws music playing in the background. I was like, what are they doing? Alexi says, Stormy said it got dismissed. Yeah, I couldn't remember. You can't remember all the details. I thought it was funny, though. All right. The Jaws music was confusing to me. As Stormy's mom is making her way to Aunt Lisa and Stormy. That's where the episode ends. We will see next week how this conversation goes. I don't know if they're going to get to the best place. However, we shall see. We shall see. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this sort of turn in the story for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Doran says they play the Jaws music for Betty Kruger. Not Betty Kruger. Oh my gosh. Eva says Betty is menacing. Oh my goodness, she really is. She really is. But again, I did not expect this scene. Guys, if you're just joining us, we have over 1,000 people here in the building. Keep liking the video. If you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call-in link for you first. Don't forget our recap tomorrow of Real Housewives of Atlanta and the Summer House Martha's Vineyard is tomorrow. Stay tuned. Turn on your notifications. I will let you know what time those recaps will be happening tomorrow. Okay, so stay tuned for that. I think the RHOA recap will be at 12:30 tomorrow as opposed to 2:30. So stay tuned. All right. Charlene says that Betty's a shark. I mean, look, it made that the emotional scene that was happening, and we know families have drama like this all the time. It's just not filmed. But we also don't have producers in the background dropping, musical comedy for us. You guys with Betty Kruger is hilarious. I can't. All right. Senior Royals, I'm dropping the call-in link for you first. We're talking about Belle Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. Next week, we also have the new show, Love and Marriage Detroit, premiering as well. So we'll be adding that to the long list of shows that we have to talk about. So stay tuned for that. All right. So let's get to some callers. Senior Royals, I've dropped the call-in link for you. Royal Court members, I'm dropping the call-in link next for you. Team Kempire members, I'm dropping the call-in link next for you. Live chat, let's get to 450 likes, and I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. All right, and don't forget, guys, we do have new merch available that came out. Look, our new merch is here. Go get yourself some new merch. Hold on. We got more new merch. Where's the other merch that I want to show you guys? We have some more merch. Some merch. Okay. Oh, wait, no. We also have our Pride merch as well. So our Pride merch is now available as well. Our Juneteenth merch. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Let me put this up. Hold on, y'all. Let me, here it is. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is our Juneteenth merch. We also have our Pride merch as well, available at houseofkempire.com. If you go to TheKempire.com and click the shop button, it will also take you to our merch store as well. I'm loving the new company that we're working with in regards to the quality and the distribution of our merch. So go check out some of the things that are there. I will be adding some other things for Juneteenth later today, so stay tuned for that. And if you're a member, I did post, first of all, Senior Royals and I believe Royal Court members, you've been given a special discount code on the community tab the other day. That will still work for you. So if you want to get a little Juneteenth merch, head on over to houseofkempire.com. I'm very happy with my merch. I want to get me some of this stuff. Look. Just saying. All right. Okay. Let me just switch this out. We're going to start taking some callers, guys, to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Again, if you're a member of the channel, I've dropped the call-in link for you on the community tab. Live chat, once we get to 450 likes, I'll drop the call-in link for the audience. Some people said Love and Marriage DC is boring. We're going to get a part 2 to their second season. There hasn't been an official date of that release. I'm guessing once Love and Marriage Huntsville is done, and then maybe it will be Love and Marriage DC and Love and Marriage Detroit airing together. I'm so tired of the constant part 1 and part 2s and multiple seasons in 1 year. We need a break, Carlos. I get it. You want to get your kids' ass, but we need a break. At least give us one. Like, we don't mind a new show, but don't all these multiple seasons of the same show and there's nothing to talk about. Just saying. All right, let me switch out my Okay. All right, Brooklyn Star is backstage. We're gonna bring her up first. What's going on, Brooklyn Star?
Hey, Kempire, how are
I'm
you?
well. How are you?
I'm great. I just wanted to say I really liked this episode when it came to Mel because she was more open with Nell. I liked
Yes.
it. I was over here like, yes, preach when she was talking about protection because I didn't the way she explained it and you realizing what situation she was in. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that right on or whatever like that.
Yeah.
There's a rumor she exposed the dude that she is dating when she was on in Mexico. He seems to be like a Canadian billionaire or something like that. You get on that Kempire and yeah, you get on that. You go find us a scoop. But yeah, she accidentally, introduced him as a friend, but he accidentally exposed his email to her IG and everybody started hitting him up and found out who he was.
Wait, a Canadian billionaire.
Yeah. And I be confused sometimes about Nell because I don't know why I keep thinking Nell is elderly, but she's not elderly. She just got a bad wig on because she's a cute lady, but that wig got her looking 85. Like she needs a lace front.
She reminds me of a character out of a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, like it's just a bad wig, but she is so cute. And I keep looking at her. I'm like, she's younger than what I think she is. I just think it's a bad wig. But the Scots, something's not matching up. Okay. Everything in their life has upgraded a little bit, except for where they lay their head. They have luxury cars. They always, she always has a handbag. He's always doing this. But when it comes to their home, it's like they're in a matchbox. Even Martell, with his bad credit, has a home to fit his kids. So I'm just wondering what's going on with them. Something's not matching up. Like Maurice and Kimmy live a decent like home. I don't know. Something's going on. I feel like we'll soon know what's going on with them because something's not right. But I'm tired of Carlos trying to expose these families that these people have. We have the best of what they have to offer. The people on the show, their background is not fun. Tisha's family, I found funny. Like a cute little funny. Stormy's family, I feel like it's destructive. I would not want to put them on TV. It didn't feel good. It wasn't even funny. It was tragic last night.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I think a lot of people were triggered by that scene.
yeah, it was not. And the mom had like her facial expression. She found happiness in dragging her sister and her nephew. I was just like, nah, this is not a funny like drag or anything like that. No, it was pure evil.
Oh, pure evil.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, evil. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
No problem. But that's about it. But
Thank you for calling in.
No problem. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Belle Collective and the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you're part of the replay crew or the later on crew, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate both shows and both episodes, and your thoughts on both episodes. Okay, and your reaction to what we had to say in regards to the season. And if you missed it, we did have a special live on Friday recapping the Ultimatum Queer Love. So if you missed that, be sure to check that out as well. And be sure to check out, I did a lot of TikToks yesterday, a lot of TikToks and a lot of short form content. So if you missed any of that, be sure to check us out on TikTok and on Instagram, and check out our shorts channel here on YouTube as well. All right, let's get some more, let's get to some more callers. We're going to bring up Miss Bernice next. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
Hey, Kempire. Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day to everyone.
You too.
Okay, now I got those niceties out the way. Let's get to this show. So Gucci. Now, I was a fan of Bring It. I fell in love with JJ, Selena, Sanjay, and the Sky and Star. They were never married while they was on the show. So he was a willing participant, and he came to all the events and stuff because he was a fun daddy, and he would geek your other daddies up to, we got to cheer for our girls, like Dad. JJ was always that. But him and Selena wasn't a couple on there. They just co-parented. Okay. So this beef that So Gucci, as I would say, Shantae, that's her government name. That's her. Selena ain't got nothing to do with that. So I think it's just all done for a storyline, especially because when she said that line, you were extra. And she was looking like, oh, no, you didn't. Hey, I got more experience than you do. What are you talking about? Because Ring It ran for about 5 or 6 years. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was, and it's all shot in Jackson. So come on now.
Wow.
And
what channel was
to
that
get
on?
to it was on Lifetime.
Oh.
Yes, it was on Lifetime. All the you can either go to Hulu or to Amazon Prime. The episodes, the season are on there, and even on YouTube, you can do free for YouTube. Just go in there and see.
Okay.
All
right.
Bettie. See, Bettie is the bully of the family, and she didn't take the reins of taking care of her father because like it was a good thing to do. We all gonna come together and we're gonna take care of Daddy in his golden years. Mm-hmm. She did it so she could take credit for it and hold it over everybody's head. And when she said that to her sister, talking about her nephew, well, she bailed him out for $15,000. And you could see the thrill in her face that she saw her sister was hurt. That's a demon right there. Because it's nothing that she could do to apologize to her sister, because in her mind she is right and everybody else is wrong. Yeah. She's the person in the family who at the funeral she's gonna be telling everybody the secrets. Mm-hmm. Because in her eyes everybody else is beneath her. So since she got a star child who make all the money for the family, I can say whatever the heck I want to say.
Okay. All right, Miss Bernice.
That's her.
Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome, sir.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we're going to get to some more callers, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. We're talking about Belle Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. Happy Father's Day to those that are celebrating here in the United States. I don't know. Canada, y'all celebrating Father's Day too? Just asking. Maddie says, happy Father's Day, Kempire Daily. I ain't nobody's daddy. All right. Let me bring up Kari next. What's going on, Kari?
You brought me where you can see I changed my name. What's up, y'all?
Say again?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I said you brought me up where you could see I changed my name.
Oh, Lord.
Then I said,
I'm a father. All right, go ahead.
I forgot today was Father's Day. So I just want you to know, I listened to the interview that So Gucci did with Carlos. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have my opinion with the knowledge of that. So Selena, you are extra and a flunky coming on this show to do Latrice's bidding. If I were you, I'd be trying to get on the show to address Cliff saying I was sleeping around while I was married, not being a soldier for his wife. People need to rewatch Bring It and stop making you and your daughter out to be the stars y'all never was. Sanjay was barely even placing to be put in competitions. Be humble. Latrice, you are never beating them snake allegations. And for a woman who is such a boss, you can't ever fight your own battles by yourself. You couldn't do it with Marie, and now you bring it around one of your husband's old booty calls to finish a fight you started. If you and Selena were such good friends, why she ain't a Belle but Gucci is? And according to you, you put Gucci on. And Gucci, you blaming everybody but JJ and your own lack of sense for the issues you got with Selena and them girls. You and your daughter admitted you neglected her trying to play mama to girls that already had a mama because you were focused on trying to get a man. Whether she was there or not, that was still their mama. So you shouldn't be surprised they are now on her side despite what you said you've done for them. Now you got the man you fought so hard for, and a daughter that resents you, stepdaughters that don't appreciate her like you, and an ex-wife still desperately looking for fame that they always said that she deserved. Hope you love your prize. And y'all, I always write down my thoughts because if I don't, I ain't gonna be as...
No, it's okay, Kari.
I should be on Kempire's channels. I have to. Please don't be mad.
No problem, Kari. Thank you so much for calling in.
No problem. Bye.
Take care. Bye. All right. And yeah, shout out to you guys. I got a little distracted because I was hearing stuff in the background. Hope you guys don't hear it as well. All right. Hold on. And we're going to bring up one last caller and then we're going to get out of here. I'm going to bring up LaDawn. What's going on, LaDawn?
Hey, first caller just hit the nail on the head because I seen the interview too.
Okay.
So I feel like so Gucci kind of, she got a leg to stand on because, um, Selena's been mean to her, and even on Bring It, she was married to to what's his name, but they
JJ.
had to be a secret.
Oh.
They had to act like they wasn't in a relationship so Selena and the girls can be on the show. JJ is the one that got the girls on the show. Selena was already in the streets. So she wasn't a mother in the first years. So Selena got a nerve. And the only reason why she's on this show is to stick it to Gucci. So you are an extra. You understand? So I don't like that. Bettie, real quick. Bettie is a devil, devil, devil. She did that on purpose. Whatever they was talking about had nothing to do with nobody's past from 15 to 20 years ago. She's evil, evil, evil. And you think about Stormy is she knows it because it's not everybody else in your mother's the right one. Everybody has a problem with your mother. You can't have events because of your mama. Nobody wants to come around because your mama. And I think it stems from when they were younger, the sisters, because your mother, and then you got mad at Mel saying that your mother got mad at Mel saying she called her daughter ghetto. Your sister called you ghetto last night. She said, I don't want to talk to your mother because she get ghetto and loud that somebody's scared of her. Her own sister called her ghetto. They're ghetto people with money. That's it. That's it. Bettie is a disgrace. Stormy brought this on because she don't have no storyline, and she had to use her family to stay relevant and at the same time embarrass her family. That's what Stormy did. It was no need for this conversation to be on that scene. It was no need for it. You fired your cousin because he wouldn't run your business for you while you was gallivanting around town trying to be a celebrity. Okay? Take care of your own business. That's all I got to say, Kempire.
Thank you, Latoya, for calling in. Was that on Lisa? Was that on Lisa? All right. All right. Oh my goodness. Very passionate. Very passionate. All right, guys. We're gonna round this out. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you for everyone and their passion about these topics. Replay crew, later on crew, let us know how you'd rate these episodes, what you thought about these episodes. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. I appreciate you all being here. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I will see you tomorrow for our Juneteenth recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Have a great rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you're watching from. Happy Father's Day. And of course, for tomorrow, happy Juneteenth. Let's get out of here, y'all.